Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological coaching and mental health paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. We try to do that for your listening pleasure in a consistent manner, although sometimes my schedule doesn't allow it, like the last week has not. And I expect through sometime in April things have kind of been a little difficult too. What are some common signs that we miss around anxiety? That is the concept for today. If you are dealing with anxiety, panic, extra stress, not understanding root causes of stress, or any point in between, would love to be of assistance to you in that way. First things first, kind of reaching out in a more directed fashion can be helpful. So, at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of this YouTube page, either one will give you contact with me or a member of my team. We can make something happen from there. Issues with your stomach can be a sign of extra anxiety or an anxiety sign that a lot of people miss. This is because certain automatic systems within the body, when we are in fight, flight, or freeze mentality, start to work differently. And one of those things is the digestive system. When the body is feeling extra stress or extra anxiety, digestion becomes harder on the body, and thus there are a lot of difficulties there. And so you may feel nauseous, you may have GI tract issues, you may feel extra just nervous on the inside, just negativity in the pit of your stomach. All of those things can be an issue. Extra people with extra anxiety also are more forgetful. That's because their mind is racing, and so when your mind flips from thing to thing to thing, when your mind flips over and over and over again in a negative way, it's easier to forget things. It's easier to feel like things are not going to be made clear. And so you begin to stress out, you begin to have extra worry, you begin to have extra doubt, and ultimately that leads to a great deal of challenges. Sleeplessness is another factor. And so when a person is constantly worried or anxious, a simple way to know that that may be an issue is if you're not getting good rest or your rest is fitful. So if you're waking up a bunch of times in the night or during or throughout the week, chances are you're dealing with at least at the very minimum some level of anxiety that's unexpected or untreated or unhandled. And that doesn't make you a bad person by any stretch of the imagination, but it does indicate you might want to look at things a little differently for your own benefit, because obviously staying in a sustained fight, flight, or freeze symptom mode may be negative to you. Your body will also begin to be more sensitive to physical pain because your emotions are on a constant flitting, and the fight, flight, or freeze thing is there. Also, too, your emotional sensitivity leads to it coming out in your body. Therefore, a person who has an abundance of extra mental stress will actually see things like more anxiety, more depression, more physical pain. Arthritis will kick in, fibromyalgia flares will kick in. If you have a known injury or a previous injury, you may experience extra sensitivity in those areas. If you have broken bones or anything like that and you're constantly stressed, you may get more aching or more discomfort in those areas, and it ultimately is because your brain is sending messages of tension into the emotional cortex, which then leads to kind of freezing in the nature of things getting mucked up in other places as well. The next is your impulse control will drop. When a person is depressed, when a person is anxious, they are going to be more impulsive. They're going to do anything or almost anything within legal reason, most people, sometimes even illegal things, to make themselves feel better. And they aren't going to think necessarily about how this is going to affect them in a week or a month or a year. They're going to only go, how can I feel better now? And that impulse control is another sign that you may be dealing with higher levels of anxiety than you can handle. Obviously, there are ways to kind of reset that and work differently through all of that. I would encourage you to continue to work on a continual basis with these things. Also would encourage you to reach out If there's anything I can do to be helpful, please feel free to reach out at VO Perception or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Until next time, everybody.